Hello, are you out there? It's Mark with Read Over, and we are back to our Stellaris in-depth tutorial. You'll note there's no face box. I've had a couple requests of, hey, no face box, you're covering up valuable real estate. So if you have feelings on that, by all means, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, let's play the game. I also think there may be a slight benefit for when we wrap up one of these two tutorials here on Stellaris or Galciv 4. We're going to go back to an RP playthrough on one of our space strategy games. Not sure which one, we'll probably put it to community vote. But at that point, I will essentially adopt the persona and voice potentially of the Xenos that we'll be playing as. And it may be a little more efficacious if you can't see my humanoid, my pinky fleshy human face, and you can imagine that perhaps I'm in fact the unusual alien being that I'm pretending to be. So I think it could work out really well on those RPs. But let me know if anything needs to be said. If you don't care, then you don't need to say anything. That's it. Let's continue on. So we were looking at Zvox here, trying to get this developed, and I believe we have given orders. Yeah, we've got some building orders going. We're trying to get those mining stations up. Alloys in particular coming first, then I think we got a big energy, then another alloy, and of course the election's coming right up. So I will simply hit play. No sense in delaying any longer. Here is our election. Democratic ruler election. Election ends. It's our final warning. 27 days left. Yeah, listen, we supported Dolores Mwanga because she is absolutely the superior overall president at this point, based off of what I can tell. And we even dropped some unity to give her some additional support right here, pushing this up to 69. Okay. And yeah, let's just roll forward and see what happens on that election. We've got science ships out there. New ruler. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. We got a couple things going on. First things first, natural wormhole. We've detected what appears to be a naturally occurring subspace phenomenon on the edge of the Owekriki? Let's try that one more time. Owekriki system. A rift in the very fabric of space-time has formed here, creating a wormhole that our scientists speculate may provide a conduit through subspace to another wormhole located somewhere else in our galaxy. Depending on where the second wormhole is located, this could potentially allow ships to travel from one end of the galaxy to the other in a matter of days. Unfortunately, this wormhole, like the vast majority of its kind, is inherently unstable. Any vessel foolish enough to pass through it would be ripped apart in seconds. If it could somehow be stabilized, and we just hit enter, so there's no quest yet, it's just telling us at some point, it's just saying, hey, you found a wormhole, we can't use it yet. That's what it's saying. So, and here we go with our election. So, ruler elected. A new ruler has been elected. President Dolores Mwanga will rule until the next election, which takes place in 2220. So, there we go. Hit OK, and I'm pretty pleased with that, to be quite honest. Now, we have mined in the minerals. This is coming from the Wexa system. Jessica has discovered initial analysis of the asteroid's composition points towards potentially interesting findings. This is a routine investigation, so I think we'll have her research it right now. Again, since we haven't found other Xenos just yet, I don't think there's a mad rush. Although I do see out there in the Owekriki system a potential habitable world. Better take a look at that. Mouse over. Nothing yet. I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to jump in here and just see what the ships... Oh, gosh dang it. What ship is this? That's our Corvettes. Oh. Well, unfortunately, our military fleet, the first fleet, under the order of Aguera there, is not going to be able to scan the habitable world. It's continental, which is good. We are continental as humans. Earth is continental. So there's a very reasonable chance this will be a suitable world for us. We don't know how good, could be 70, 80%. But I actually see that it's orange right now. Rather than being this red tundra, it is a potentially habitable continental. So we have the Russian ship 2 systems away. And let's just check the orders on the Russian ship. They'll be wrapping up there at Orthama within the year, I would say. Well, within several months. We'll scoot them on to Olum. And I would say that at this point, we could move our colony ship in that direction. Just take a gamble, get it up there to Orthama, see what we can do from there. So yeah, we'll just start moving it that way. Obviously, it's going to take a good while to get all the rest of that research, but we'll see what happens. We're going to roll forward. We can dismiss that election. We have an additional interesting event. Solar Sailor. We have discovered an abandoned solar sail ship in orbit around Orthama 2A. The sublight vessel was built by an unknown culture and appears to be several thousand years old. One of the massive sails has a large tear where some kind of object passed through, most likely a meteoroid, which appears to have disabled the vessel. Although the technology of the ship is severely outdated, it does possess some interesting engineering design choices. An interesting, albeit primitive design. This gives us 377 engineering into the old piggy bank. Not bad. I will take it. And I just want to make sure that the Gagarin is in fact surveying, as she is, as well as the Darwin investigating that anomaly right now. We've completed another event. It appears that the asteroid TBR-112 and the surrounding debris originated from a former planet. Deep within the center of the asteroid, we can find traces of extremely valuable alloys. There are also hints of bacterial life that has now died from the vacuum of space. This shows us that the celestial body once bore the promise of life. Amazing indeed. So this adds the X-planet modifier of +3 alloy to that asteroid. That is amazing. That is fantastic, and that's right down here. We will harvest those alloys as soon as is reasonable. Now, I'm keeping an eye on our influence here. We're up to 65, so we're darn near ready to claim the next system. So the question is, what will it be? Interestingly, before we get to claiming additional systems, our first factions have formed. So what did that take? 11 years? Just after the first presidential election, our first factions have formed. So a faction is going to represent any sort of interest group within our society that holds political power. They are going to draw followers, adherents to them. And if the alignments of a given faction misalign with those of our leadership or the direction we think our culture should be taking, we will have to either suppress or potentially amplify if they align with us. So, a new faction has recently gained traction in the internal political landscape of the United Nations of Earth. They call themselves the True Democracy Foundation. Their members work for equality and justice for all denizens of our empire. A distinguished faction will be a source of trouble, but one that approves the government's actions could prove useful. Okay. And there's just the one. So real quickly, I believe you'll notice up here we have a new tab right here. So we have the government tab, the ships tab, and there's the politics tab. So the True Democracy Foundation, currently, what do we have here? Faction support for True Democracies total 100%. That's from 22 citizens. And if I read up on this, support represents the political strength of this faction. Support is increased by the amount of pops in the faction. Pops with full citizenship contribute far more than support than those without. So say a slave class or something like that. Refugee class. Next item over is what? I'm having trouble sorting the difference between these two. One is attraction, I'm guessing. And then finally over here, unity. So this is what you get from factions. Primarily is unity. You can get other modifiers. There's quite a few of them here, but in general, in the old game, unity was the big thing. And don't get me wrong, 17.9 unity per month is a large chunk. I'm grateful to have it. But what else are they going to do here? So, is that general approval? No, let's see. Anti-autocratic, plus 10%. Free movement, plus 10%. Reproductive freedoms. So these are the policies we've adopted that are either beneficial, attracting people to this faction, or something the faction doesn't like. So, for instance, the people that are in the True Democracy Foundation will have a base approval there of 50%. Now, that is modified by being anti-autocratic, gives it a plus 10%. It makes the people happier that are within this faction. Free movement of the citizens within our society get a 10%. It makes them 10% happier within this faction. Reproductive freedoms, plus 5% for this faction. Anti-stratification is a 0. It's not shown as anything. It's just, it looks like they like it, but we're not gaining any benefits to their happiness or the support of the faction for it. Benevolent subjugation policy, it's a red. It would go negative if we went against it, but right now it's getting 0. Ruler of their ethic, plus 15%. That probably represents Dolores, if I'm not mistaken. Represented on council, plus 5%, and Democratic, plus 10%. So we've got that over here. Now, if we click on that, we can get to the factions tab, we'll say, and this is under the government option here. You can see the little pop-out arrow, and down at the bottom, the factions tab. So here's our council, which we've gotten to before, and we can see here, this is in fact our factions. So you could see additional factions lined up below this one as you gain others. So let's look at the factions tab while we're on it. Right now, up at the top, essentially these are the 8 possible ethics. This has to do with the ethics wheel, if you remember, when we were creating our civilization at the beginning. Right now, we only have representatives of 2 types of ethics in our society. We have 57% of our people are egalitarian, and 43% are xenophiles, which again means xeno lovers, lovers of the other, I guess, the alien. So, the Democratic Foundation has 100% support from 22 citizens. The ethic it aligns with is egalitarian, and you can see here that's primarily what we are. Very cool. Its effect over here is providing this unity, and I see some additional modifiers here. We're currently gaining 17.93 from the support and approval level of the faction each month. So this is where this is coming from. Produces a base unity of 0.3, so not even a single unity, but that's modified, I guess, by gee, that doesn't really make sense. 0.3 modified by plus 50% for being fanatic egalitarian would take you to a 0.45, plus a 6% ruler, plus beacon of liberty plus 15, planetary unification plus 5, evolving society plus 10, and one vision plus 10. All those percentages don't take a 0.3 to 17.93. I'm not sure where that's coming from. But below I see multiplied by 30.5 due to the support and approval level of the faction. Wow. So, okay, there's hidden numbers here. I'm almost a little frustrated at how kludgy that is. And this would just be a gripe I have with Stellaris, or this current version of it. I don't believe the old game years ago broke it down this much, but here's the real problem. It's all fine, and I think in general we can understand it. Number goes up is good, right? Make number go up. Awesome. But the fact that they're even throwing all this at us, this base of a 0.3 multiplied by functionally, what is that, 70, 80, 96% of 0.3 is, I don't know, is that a multiplier on top of 100%, or is the 96% the whole? We're not even hitting 100%. That's then multiplied by 0.3, which would get us 2.85, and then that's multiplied by 30.5. Hell if I know. I don't know. I'm griping though because they're just not showing us the math. They're just not. Am I supposed to bust out a calculator, add up all those green numbers, multiply it by 0.3, and then figure out how, put an X value into that equation to figure out how that multiplies to get to 30.5? I'm not going to do that. But there you go. You can see the things that are adding to that. God, I almost consider it like ethics attraction. Is like if I look at Beacon of Liberty, we're getting to plus 15% to that. So the more we punch up our egalitarian, the higher this unity benefit gets. That's the implication, right? So the other thing to point out, though, is these are the issues for this faction. Some factions may only have, say, 3 or 4 issues. This one has 7 issues. One of them could be a negative. The other 6 out of 7 are positive. So let's do a couple things. Let's look first at Beacon of Liberty. So we're going to hop up here real quickly to our tab for the United Nations Vert. Hitting this little hexagon is a quick way to bring up your kind of your whole civilization. And here is the Beacon of Liberty. And you can see the monthly unity is in fact at plus 15%. So that is, I guess, a modifier on unity coming from any source. So when we jump back to the governments tab, we go to the factions tab and we mouse over this. The Beacon of Liberty doesn't in particular have anything directly related to egalitarianism that's getting us more unity. It's just that Beacon of Liberty by itself just generically gives you plus 50% unity. In fact, planetary unification just generically gives you plus 5, and One Vision generically gives you plus 10%. And that was one of our tradition trees we unlocked, if you recall. So yeah, there you go. But ultimately, my presumption is the more egalitarian people we get, the bigger this number gets. That's awesome. Let's look at something else, though. All these issues over here, you're going, where are these coming from, right? Where's free movement coming from? Where's reproductive freedoms coming from? Well, there's one more tab that we have looked at, the Policies and Edicts tab. However, we've been focusing over here on the edict side. If you recall, we've enabled Map the Stars, which is an awesome edict. If you can get it, I recommend enabling it and running it for a good portion of the early to mid game. But over here are our policies. Every one of these policies is a pop-out. Sorry, I call that a drop-down, where you select one. Now, bear in mind, if you change something, it will be a very long while until you can change it again. So, for instance, we're running an expansionist by default. Our diplomatic stance is expansionist. That means our outpost build cost is minus 10%, and our colony development speed is plus 15%. Border friction, plus 100%. But let's say we want to be isolationist. I see right there that would give us a big fat monthly unity at 10. If I click that, it pops up that we're going to change our diplomatic stance to isolationist within our empire. We will not be able to change our stance on this for 10 years. So you're not locked in forever, but the reality is 10 years is a lot of gameplay. So by all means, adjust these, but just know you're locked in. It's going to be a while till you can change it back. So in this case, sending an envoy to improve relations or harm relations costs influence. It means if we're going to be isolationists and we try to interact with any other Xenos, for good or ill, it costs us influence. It's a tax on our influence, which you know is already quite limited. However, the benefits to doing that would be that our unity goes up by 10%. Our diplomatic weight, meaning how much weight or value other aliens put on our diplomatic efforts, goes down by 25%. Diplomatic agreement upkeep plus 100%. Means it's very costly for us to go into any sort of agreement or treaty with a Xeno. Government ethics attraction plus 25%. Interesting. I guess that is because you're insular, you have a tighter fist of control, I guess, on the ethics within your culture. Right? Less influence from the outside, that kind of makes sense. Border friction jumps from 100% to 200%, which is a lot of border friction. I'm guessing that erodes how much Xenos like you, what their yes, I can't click on one yet because we haven't met any other Xenos, but essentially whether it's going to improve their relations or degrade their relationship with us over time until you might reach the verge of war, which would be potentially bad. And external leader pool size -2. And I believe that would be our envoys. I believe our envoys are independent from the leader pool. Could be wrong about that. Shit, am I that far out of date that I don't even recall what envoys are? Nope. No, I don't think so. Okay, I'm like, geez, wow, it's been a long time since I played. No, right up here at the top, this unusual little icon. It's a flag of peace with essentially a humanoid figure, we'll say, represents the number of envoys we have. 0 out of 3 envoys have assignments. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm guessing here, when it says external leader pool size -2, could be wrong, but I think that should read envoy leader pool size -2. But hey, what do I know? I don't know what an external leader is otherwise, but your envoys are the people you're going to send out. We have Radmilla, we have Travis, and we have Kagiso. So there you go. We're not really doing anything else with them right now. Okay, so we're going to say no, though. We didn't actually want to change that policy. I just wanted to point that out to you. There's a few others. Let's see here. What do we have? Resettlement? Prohibited, allowed. Economic, trade, robotic workers, presapiens, population controls. Here you go. We prohibit controls on reproduction, but you could allow it. Long-term demographics is too important of a matter to be left solely in the hands of individual actors, so you could enact population controls, but our folks wouldn't like it. That's the thing, is that this faction would not like their reproductive freedoms being suppressed. We would lose that plus 5%. We might even hit into a -5 or a -10% if it is really important to them. So, but yes, this is where you can reach all of these. Now, I don't want to say it's an entire video of its own, but it probably is. To go through all of these, yeah. Oof. Boy, yeah. It'd be a matter of just reading through them. Know that in general, these are set up, I believe, to a default given your initial ethics selections. I think kind of adjusts these around. So for instance, slavery, I'm sure there's a way to do like a authoritarian slavers thing where slavery starts in the allowed mode. I'm not certain of that, but it makes sense. I think there's even like a species trait you can pick that's like slavers guilds. That might turn it on automatically when you start the game. I don't really know. But it's here. You can definitely get some serious benefits, but almost... Here's the point. Here's the point. Almost every selection that you choose in here, one item versus another. Remember, you can only ever select one of these at a time. It's one or the other. It's a mix. You get benefits and detriments. Always they're trying to achieve balance. So going into policies is not just a bunch of free bonuses. You're like, man, just turn on all your bonuses, man. It's like, no. There's already a policy chosen for every one of these. By default, every policy has has an option selected. There's no way to not have an option selected. But in general, it's balanced. So for instance, economic policy. This is a very easy one to understand because there's very little to it. Here you go. We have a mixed economic policy. It has no benefit. It has no negative. No bonus or penalties to resource production. Check this out. If we go to a civilian economy, we'll get 25% more consumer goods, but minus 25% alloys from jobs. Now, if you know that you produce consumer goods twice as readily as alloys, might make sense to go into that. Because you know that plus 25% is going to pay you a lot more consumer goods than you were going to get from the normal amount of alloys anyway. Whether you sell them or whatever else, you're converting them into alloys with your metallurgists, things like that. The other option would be the militarized economy, where you're focusing on defense, shipbuilding, star-based building. You can clearly see that consumer goods go down by 25% and alloys go up by 25%. Simple. So they're all trade-offs. You're not going to get drastically ahead by choosing these. But to be fair, just up here at the diplomatic stance, if you wanted more unity, bam, it's right there. You could take it. What does cooperative do? Diplomatic weight, envoy stuff, border friction is reduced, blah, blah, blah. But, hey, we're not cooperating with anyone yet because we haven't met any Xenos, so that won't do anything for us. Belligerent? Oh, wow. That looks like it's really good for being on a war footing. Yeah. Extra naval capacity, more resistant to war exhaustion. I mean, you can fight wars longer. before your people become dissatisfied, and claim influence costs, -10. That's enough of that. We looked at it all, but that was another important aspect to look at. Let's continue rolling forward. All right.
Research complete.
Orthama is ready to go. I'm going to pause the game real quick. I would say realistically, here's something I'm looking at. I want to colonize our fourth world, right? We're at 3. This realistically is going to be our 4th at this point, but we have to build an outpost there to do that. We have to survey it, then we have to build the outpost, then we drop the colony ship in. Here's the trick. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 systems out from being able to claim that. That's a long way. That's a long way. Now, let's look at a quick demo here. What if we skip Demon's Maw? We skip Runa. We've talked about this many times. So in this case, Orthama is 1, 2, 3 systems away. Let's right click, or let's click our constructor, right click, and build Starbase Outpost. Since it's fully surveyed, we can do it. But look what we're lacking. 130 influence. We're at 72. So to claim Orthama will take 202? Yeah, 202 influence. It's monstrous. Monstrous. And remember, we would then have to backfill Runa and Demon's Maw at the regular costs. We wouldn't get those cheaper later. This is not how it works. So it's 3 times more expensive. We're not going to do that. Here's what we need to do. Here's what we need to do. We need to claim Demon's Maw. We're going to take that constructor, and we are going to right click. Oh, no, what are we doing? Come on, it's constructor. Right click, and there we go. Build the base. 67 influence. It's going to happen. I didn't really want Demon's Maw, but we're going to get it. We're going to get Orthama. We might end up getting the the Wexila system over there at some point. Yeah, there's some good systems. And we'll continue on. Run the clock. Run the clock. Oh, wait, we got a technology. My bad. Also, let's take our science ship, since we are trying to get to the Owikrike system. Yeah, we need to send our science ship on. And right there, survey system. And then let's shift and survey system. There you go. So the Russian ship will survey the next 2 systems. We're going to find out what that world actually is. I'm pretty excited. Is our fleet still going? Entering orbit. It looks like they need some more missions here. Let's grab them and let's shift click. Shift. 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 Yeah. We'll kind of grab the next set of systems there. And let's go to our science. We've completed research. Ceramo metal materials. Unlocks components, ceramo metal armor. So this goes on to small, medium, or large ship designs. You can see it is essentially just straight alloy. On the order of 13. Medium ship is twice that, and a large ship is twice the medium or 4 times the small. And it's pretty straightforward. Are those direct multipliers? No. Wow, you gain even more. So check this out. Although the alloy cost is a basic 2 times and 4 times multiplier, it's a straight multiplier. We're getting a bit of a curve on the growth for the actual armor. So here we have 130 armor points, which jumps to 325. That is well past 200%. That's hitting into 250%. And then from 325, we jumped up to 780. That is well past the 650. Again, about a 2.5 multiplier. So you are gaining more armor in a ratio on a larger ship to the amount of alloy you're putting in. The ratio of armor to alloy improves in the favor of armor points as you put it on larger and larger ships. I think that's the technical way to say that. So, new research complete. Boom. And, yeah, what do we want? We've got quite a bit of engineering surplus in our research piggy bank for engineering, if I'm not mistaken. So, listen. A couple things to look at here. We can unlock 2 new technology pathways. This technology field will lead to further advancements in the fields of kinetic weapons. This one will lead to further technology and advance in the field of robotics. Ooh, very interested. Okay, so they're both good. The powered exoskeletons is quite cheap. It's very utilitarian, in fact. The armory damage goes up 5%. We don't really care about that yet. We're not fighting wars, but worker pop resource output plus 5%. Now, I believe that is workers only, not specialists, but it does mean it would be a direct boost to our energy output, our mineral output, and our food output. 5%. It's not a lot, but it's something, right? Like over here on energy, that would probably lead to, I don't want to say exactly, but maybe 5 extra energy a month. Some of this energy is maybe coming from buildings or other resources, so I don't want to say it's all coming from workers, but or we could go into the militaristic line. Now, there's really 2 ways to do that. Obviously, better weapons, coil guns. Yeah, these are going to be, I don't want to say necessarily better than the I don't think what are we on, red lasers, maybe blue lasers. Kinetic and beam weapons are not the same type of weapon. This gets into ship design, but essentially it's like a round robin. You're going to have your whole, you're going to have armor, you're going to have shields, and different weapons are going to be more effective against shielding versus armor. So a kinetic, right down at the bottom of this pop-up, you can see this kinetic weapon, a coil gun. Think of it's like a rail gun or maybe I don't say a minigun. It's a rail gun. It's a coil gun, so it's using a magnetic field to propel a projectile as opposed to using an explosive to propel a projectile. But nonetheless, it's shooting projectiles, kinetic impactors, hypervelocity type of stuff, plus 50% damage against shields, meaning that it bypasses shields. That piece of matter is able to force its way through the repulsive field of a force shield much more effectively than a laser can. The photons in the laser beam are going to be diffused and or absorbed or nullified by a force field. However, the kinetic impactors, the bullets, are going to be at a minus 50% to armor damage. The armor on these ships are made to absorb micrometeoroid impacts already. So when you're just shooting a couple of grams or maybe a kilogram slug into this armor, even at super high velocities, even if you punch through, a lot of it's getting dissipated. I would imagine it's probably some sort of, the Ceramo armor we know is already a composite of probably ceramics, various fibers, possibly foams, liquids, and or alloys. Probably all those together, because every time you transition between one state of matter and another, or any 2 materials that are sandwiched together, the energy transfer usually is greatly lessened, as far as I understand it. So, but yeah, that's the idea. Now, a laser beam's probably going to punch through that armor much more effectively. It's going to burn its way through, if I had to guess, or the particle beams. But yeah, there you go. So, hey, this wouldn't hurt. It just means that we're going to have, deal more damage faster. That's all. So it's a great way to improve the military efficacy of our ships. However, what if you didn't improve how efficacious your ships were? You improved how many ships you had. Here you go. Improved Corvette hulls. Now, we're making Corvettes right now. That's the only type of military ship we can make, but check this out. Corvette hull points plus 10%. Frigate hull points plus 10%. Now, hull is not armor. It goes shield, armor, then hull. So think of the hull points as the health points, the HP of the ship, whereas armor is like, we'll call it ablative armor, ablative, right? Ablative. I don't think that's how you say that, but it ablates, obviously. And then your shields also, I don't want to say they ablate, they wear down and recharge naturally, whereas armor doesn't necessarily repair itself as readily as a shield would recharge. But there's technologies you can get that will heal your armor up. You can certainly repair your armor, the rate at which your armor is repaired, as well as the rate at which your shields replenish themselves. All that said, I kind of like the Hull Corvette. You know, since we're not rushing through the tech tree particularly faster than any other Xenos out there, possibly quite a bit slower, I think it's not a bad idea to just say, hey, you know what? Let's just get more Corvettes cheaper with what we've already got. So that's what I'm going to click on right there. Is it the right choice? I don't know. Let's advance the turn, though. Holy crap. That was a lot of talking.
Anomaly found.
Here we go. Jessica Newman has found a dimensional disturbance. This is around probably the asteroid 91F-K14, the Wexelia system. So, the debris field, which 91F-K14 is part of, roils and swirls under the influence of unknown forces. Now, this is relatively hard for Jessica. We're going to pass on this right now. We do not want her biting off 600 days, nearly 2 years on this. No thanks. Leave it be for now. Continue surveying, please. Tell you what we want to do, though. We are going to take a pause real quick and jump into Earth. Jump into Earth. So here's what we got. Do we need to do anything on Earth? Quite possibly not. We have 8 housing available, plenty. We have 2 jobs available. One of those is an enforcer. 2 of those are clerks. I believe the enforcer job we actually just turned off, and that's why it doesn't show as an available job. Let's verify that. Yes, right there, enforcer, down arrow. We're saying no, don't give us any enforcers. However, I would say realistically, since we only have jobs we don't want, crappy jobs. Let's call them what they are. They're crappy jobs. We don't want those. Let's develop something else to get more of the good stuff we want. So there's 2 ways to go about it. We could simply develop one of these: industrial, generator, mining, or agricultural. Get a couple new jobs, pretty basic stuff. These would yield specialist jobs. These would yield worker tier jobs. But if we make a city district, it's interesting. We get 5 additional housing, which is a pretty good chunk. We don't really need it. We get 1 extra building slot. Yeah, you're sitting here wondering, hey, how do I unlock these red locked building slots? I want a bunch more buildings. Buildings are awesome. I want another research lab or something cool like that, right? Another holo theater. We want all holo theaters. We want 8 of them on this world. We want to be extremely entertained. Well, we'd get that with that city district. And it would yield a clerk's job, which we don't really want. So, short story long here. If we build a city district to get the building slot, we then also have to build a building to get the jobs we actually want, because we don't really want another clerk's job. What's realistically useful for us right now? I would say industrial district. Let's do it. Let's do the industrial district. And then we can look at, hey, do we need more consumer goods? Do we need more alloys? Probably going to want more consumer goods, to be really quite blunt. So yeah, let's do that. Throw it in the queue. Boom. Woo. I was going to say we have plenty of minerals, but honestly, we can only do so much development. Although our mineral production is plus 62 is not bad, these buildings are expensive. We're really getting through that. But let's look at our other 2 worlds real quick. Alpha Centauri Prime, sitting at total of 5 pop, 5 housing available, 2 jobs available. Both of those are entertainers. Excellent. I'll take an entertainer. I don't think we need to do anything here. They're fine. We don't want to build ahead too much because, again, we pay taxes on every building as well as every district type. And finally, Sirius Prime, 3 pop, 2 housing available. It's getting a little tight. Definitely getting restricted there. But we have 3 jobs available, 2 entertainers, 1 colonist position. That's good enough for now. We'll let those entertainers fill in to those jobs as the pop grows, but I wouldn't mind more housing. So let's just bite the bullet on this and just get a housing district. It's going to yield 2 things for us. First of all, plus 5 housing and that extra building slot. So there you go. 500 additional mineral. We're down to 2. 200, that is to say. And let's run the clock. So our buildings are doing some stuff.
Complete.
Oh, very cool. Let's
Construction complete.
pause it right there. So while we've got the Demon's Maw here, while we have the Yangtze at Demon's Maw, let's grab that single research station plus 4. That'll be honestly a nice bump up to our physics research, considering we're only generating 34. Yeah, that's a chunk. That's like 3%, right? Or I'm sorry, that's like 10%, 11, 12%. Yeah, that's a chunk. So let's do that. And I'm watching our influence. We got a long ways to go here, folks. We're at 16 because, hey, we're probably going to grab Desitta next, then Orthama, then Olum, right? So we're making our way. I see another potential planet here. This is an alpine world, size 13. Most likely, this world will not be as good as this one. Obviously, it's larger and it's continental, right? So, but again, our colony ship is pre-positioned pretty well. From here, we can easily get to either world as those get explored. We'll click off that colonization. Let's jump down to, the how do you say that? Wexelius? Wexelius system? What do we want to do with this? I kind of want to fill in as we go. Oh my, what? Oh, I tilted the galaxy. Did I do that? Did I do that? Yeah, I did. There you go. FYI, this is kind of fascinating here. Although the galaxy is a disk, it's always a disk shape, there's a little bit of three-dimensionality to it. You can see that ever so slightly there. I only pointed out it has no real function in the game. I think except to maybe make the star systems pop out a little more readily than if it was on a flat, we'll say a grid or wheel. But when you tilt, you can in fact make it appear that the Thanov system is beyond the Olum system. It is not. We'll kind of pull back there. Yeah, there you go. And Wexia is nice. It's got alloys, a touch of society, and a little bit of energy. Those alloys make me excited. But yeah, I want to fill in here. So I will jump up this way. Boom. Survey. And then we will shift and survey here. And we'll shift and survey there. So those are the next 3 survey systems queued up for that ship. She'll be on her way. See, there's another black hole hovering over here as well. That's that. What else do we got? Anomaly. I think we're skipping on that. So, yeah, run the clock. Oh, something...
Anomaly found.
I don't want to say interesting is happening, but I noticed that some of our fleets are ready for upgrades. We'll take care of that. We have 719 alloy. More than enough to upgrade the ships. Ship upgrades can only be done around one of your shipyards. But so our first fleet's out there on the fringes. They won't be able to upgrade, but our stay-at-home fleets will be able to. But first, let's take care of the surface riding event. This is around Thanov 2. This is Herman reporting in. There's significant scarring on the surface of this world in a pattern that cannot be natural. From orbit, the massive rifts look almost like writing. This is a routine project for Herman, so we will have him research it right now. Let's get those goodies. Let's get the good results from that project. And I'm going to pause the clock real quick. So first fleet is there. Second fleet is hovering around Zivox. I don't exactly know. Oh, we had sent them out to explore, but they can't because we don't have a military leader with them. Yeah, boo-hoo. But finally, third fleet back here at Earth. And let's take a look. Upgrading is extremely simple. When you see this orange arrow here, here, or here, it's saying that, yeah, this fleet or this fleet or this fleet have ships in it that can be upgraded. The upgrades at this point represent... hell if I know. Let's see. I don't know if there's a way to actually see what they're going to upgrade, but... Go back to that. Can I not just click on that? Can I click there? No? Oh, that's odd. Oh, here we go. My bad. Upgrade fleet right there. So, click to order fleet to move to the closest shipyard for an upgrade. So they will fly back to the nearest shipyard. So we could click on the first fleet up there, click this upgrade fleet button, and that fleet would start to travel their long ass way back to Sol. That is completely doable. But again, we're looking at the third fleet. We will simply click on that, and you can see that the 2 ships will be upgraded for 29 alloy. That's total. That's the whole pop. So it's essentially 14.5 alloy for each ship. But let's click it. You can see up here our alloy dropped a bit, and in fact, these 2 will start to rapidly upgrade Upgrades go extremely fast. It just takes days to upgrade a ship. And, well, anyway, that'll run. I just wanted to point that out, that you can do that. I think the reason that upgrade came along was the Ceramo metal, if I'm not mistaken. The Ceramo armor plates. So, we got ourselves our second faction. A new faction has recently been gaining traction in the international political landscape of the United Nations of Earth. They call themselves the Alien Freedom Center. Now, I would bet these folks are really focused on xenophilia. Yeah, it's not as weird as it sounds. Okay, we got all sorts of shit going on here, folks. The shit just hit the fan. So, we're going to look at our new faction in a moment, but first, we've encountered hostiles. Evading hostile fleet. Science ship UNS Darwin has encountered a hostile alien vessel's fleet in Klendath and is currently attempting to evade them. That's right, science ship can't fight back. She's just going to try and get out of there alive with our scientists. If the ship is destroyed, we're going to lose that scientist as well. Total loss of the crew. We'll hit OK. And encounter in Klendath. We have made first contact with the mysterious aliens in the Klendath system. For now, we have codenamed them Mirages. Until we can find out more about them, if they possess a language, we must decipher it in order to establish communication. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Start the first contact process with the Mirages. Am I saying that right? Mirages? Yeah. And I'm going to stop the clock here. We made first contact with an unknown entity. Okay. The third fleet has been fully upgraded. Okay, over here. Yeah, they're done. Okay. Let's try and stop the clock here. Shit just keeps popping up. Contact report. Enigmatic spacefarers. News of alien ships humming through the ether has reached Earth, in many ways ending the first chapter in the book of the United Nations of Earth's bid for a stellar empire. Wow. That is interesting. Yeah, stellar empire is going to have to wait till we learn to live with or eliminate all the Xenos. Intriguing. So, a couple quick things. Let's jump to the hostile fleet present. Anytime you have a battle, this is going to pop up. This allows you to quickly zoom into a location. Obviously, the galaxy's large. It might be hard to pick this out. But as we get in here, you can clearly see around Klendath our science ship, which is still at 100% health, thank goodness, for now. And alien vessels, codename Mirages, at 100% as well. You can see this communications hex came up. First contact with Mirages. The date we encountered them is just days ago, 4 days ago. This is all very recent. Now, a couple things we can do. Let's click on the hostile fleet's presence option. And this brings us into the system. It shows us what little we know. Investigate. We need to study these aliens through first contact investigation before we can hope to understand their technology or learn how to communicate with them. Yeah, obviously. Unknown orders, alien vessel. We don't know anything about their capabilities right there. We'll just close that. And you can see here, their military power sitting at 217. I don't know how we'd ascertain that, but it's a safe bet they'd whoop the heck out of our science ship. So we aren't going to mess with them. Now, can we zoom in? Oh, excellent. Look at that. So as I see that, that is not biological. Clearly, that is an alien structure. Fascinating. Fascinating. That gives me hope, though, that, we've come up on the border of an alien civilization. That is probably a mining station over Klendath 2. And that, my friends, is an alien space station. That is an outpost. That is an outpost, if I'm not mistaken. Where's our science ship? Oh, damn. Right here. The Darwin is beating a fast retreat, powering up those jump drives. She's going to try and bail out, possibly through the jump point here, back to Wexia. So let's pop out of the system. Let's dismiss that. So science ship is heading back this way. But yeah, it's possible to come up on the border with an alien. Now, I'm happy that that didn't happen up here yet, because it would mean these planets would potentially be cut off from us. But that we're not sure that that's going on, but Let's do a quick comparison, though. We said that that alien fleet has a military power projected of 216. If we look at our second fleet, they're coming in at 218. Fascinating, fascinating. Okay, it's quite possible we could gather up another fleet, double that, get that military power up to 400, 500, 600, send them back in there and just go to war and smash this structure up. Maybe we could. I would imagine the starbase, the space station, would have something to say about that. We're not really getting a good scan on that. We don't have more information, but I bet you its military power probably exceeds this mining orbitals, if I had to guess. But that is a guess for now. Got a couple things we need to do. We need to initiate that first contact right here. It gives us an icon. FYI, all the little pop-ups, all the little news messages from first contact, that won't happen every time. As many windows as we got, that's just the first time it's a big momentous event. But you will get, hey, your fleet's encountered an enemy fleet pop up, the little red ship box, and you'll get this one. Essentially saying, what are you going to do with this first contact policy? So we're going to click on it. Here is, this is sort of unlocking the mystery of first contact pop-up. I don't know a better way to describe it. Codename Mirages. We have stage 1, stage 2. So stage 1 was literally sensing them, I would say, right? We encountered them. Stage 2 is, in fact, scanning them. They scan us. They probably know we're here as well as we know that they're there. So it's kind of a race, for lack of a better term. We made first contact with mysterious aliens. Yeah, this is a recap. We've already read that. So we have no envoys signed yet. Assign an envoy to learn more about Mirages. So we're going to just click on this. In here, in fact, is Kagiso, Radmilla, and Travis. I don't know if any of them have any special capabilities. Let's just mouse over them real quick. Home planet, Earth. Fantastic. Egalitarian. Excellent. No xenophiles in there. Fascinating. And then age, 45, 37, 39. I don't think that'll matter. So, and then finally, previous job was researcher, bureaucrat, and miner. I don't know that any one of them is particularly well suited for this. Let's just pick Radmilla. I'm doing that because she was a bureaucrat before, but I don't think it's going to matter. So let's hit accept. You can see there is Radmilla. Remember, Radmilla doesn't count as one of our normal leaders. There's no other job we could assign Radmilla to. The envoys just kind of live in their own special box. But here's what we got. This stage 2 is going to take 80 days. So first contact efforts are undertaken in phases at the end of each, of which a progress roll is made. Next phase ends in 80 turns, 80 days. Our empire modifiers, we're proactively, our policy is proactive on our first contact. So we're plus 10% to just decipher their language, to make a successful first contact. And our Minister of State gives us a plus 4%, probably because they're a level 2 Minister of State. Awesome. The breakthrough chance, that's an actual percentile die, 10-sided die. They probably should put 2 of them there, in my opinion, if it's meant to be actual percentile die. But yeah, what are you going to do? Not everyone understands how 2 D10s work for percentiles. But I'm going to assume the Stellaris guys just got cheap on the artwork. They ran out of budget there to pay for that second 10-sided die. So there's a 0% chance that the current phase will end in success. So as we advance through the stage 3, 4, 5, 6, right, as this progresses, all these numbers may change around. The duration, the breakthrough chance, difficulty. These numbers are all going to change potentially. And you just go, well, how do we ever get above 0%? Well, this stage 2 has a difficulty of 5. Essentially, Radmilla is going to roll and see if something good or bad happens. Yeah, that's the way to look at it. Do we gain an insight? Like she discovers something. There's something cool happens. She overhears a radio transmission or catches a broadcast or something of the aliens. It might improve her chances of getting a successful breakthrough. So this will climb as the stages progress. However, bad stuff can happen. Bad stuff can happen. Potentially, you could take a hit to your skill bonus, maybe, and it could set you back. So it's like a little mini game, and eventually we'll see what these Xenos look like. I don't want to say they're disgusting yet, but that's quite a hairdo silhouette there. So we'll see. We're done there, so we can close down the first contact. Evading hostile fleet. Yeah, that's right. Science ship UNS Darwin automatically is running for it. We don't have to tell her to run. They're smart enough, so we can click off of that. Fingers crossed they make it out. There's your fleet upgraded. That's the third fleet upgraded. And an anomaly, which we're... What are we doing? We're researching it. Awesome. Okay, run the clock, folks. Wow. So much cool stuff going on. And actually, let's jump over to our shipyard. Shipyard? Yeah. I think we should get some more Corvettes going. We have so much surplus alloy right now. There's no sense in not just building those up more and more. So, alien writing event has completed. Someone used a mining laser from orbit approximately 5,000 years ago to carve a large body of writing into the surface of Phainove 2. The massive script covers a large portion of the planet's upper hemisphere and appears to be a short story chronicling the difficult life of an alien mercenary. That is one hell of a particle beam. If it can make a trough in the ground cover that is large enough to be read from orbit. Now, you can imagine it may be hard vacuum, sure. So, or very little atmosphere, so that laser is going to punch right through. And if there's no atmosphere, then nothing's going to wear down. So any lines they make might last for thousands or millions of years, potentially, if there's no sort of active geology going on. So fascinating. What does that yield us? It yields +3 society to Phainove 2. I guess we're going to read the writing and learn about sociology. That's awesome. I actually really like that. But we're going to pause the game right there. A couple things, a lot of things are going on. First thing we want to do is where the hell did Darwin get off to? Right here. She survived her little run-in. We're just going to send her off over here, survey this system. We're going to keep her moving forward. There's no sense in stopping there. But you can see the red exclamation. That's kind of to say, hey, don't just send another ship in there. Don't send your constructor there. That's like a warning. Even if you sent your warship, your fleet in there, you might start a war inadvertently you don't want to do. So we want to avoid that if possible. Where on earth is our gosh darn store base? Oh, there it is, shipyard. Good lord, was not able to see that. So let's get some more Corvettes going. So we'll just put 3 in the queue. No big deal. We're building up, right? We're trying to reach our 30 there, so that'll keep them busy for a little bit. Don't want to go too nuts because we actually have quite a bit of systems to claim, honestly, but. Look at what's happening over here. We're finding an entire new arm of the galaxy is loaded with planets. We have 2 additional ones here. An ocean world size 16 and an Arctic world size 18. Now, and that leaves 2 systems that haven't even been explored yet by the First Fleet. They're going to get to them. But this gives me an idea. What if, rather than trying to race ahead and claim all these systems and get colonies on all these, what if we continue to race ahead, claim at Phainove, claim at Onov, claim at Oe Crikey, claim here, and put a starbase here, essentially forming an end cap at this unknown F-class star right here, locking these 4 worlds, possibly more, depending on these systems, behind one of our starbase, behind our frontier. So this would be a strategic race to claim these planets by virtue of having them beyond our borders, out of reach of Xenos over here to the galactic west, meaning this portion of the galaxy. We know the Xenos are out there, and we know the planets are relatively rare. But, yeah, I mean, hey, these might be junk planets. A couple of them might be, but 1 or 2 of them could be habitable. And eventually, as we increase the ability to terraform and improve planets, even these crappy ones may become useful to us. I'd rather have access to 10 worlds than access to 4, you know? So I think that might be worth the plan, is darting through as quick as we can the shortest path to this F-star, claiming everything as we go, but leaving these other areas potentially unsurveyed and unclaimed until far in the future. You know, we might be talking 20, 40 years from now, we get all that locked up, potentially. Let's run the clock.
Construction complete.
All right, we finished at Demon's Maw. We're going to move on to Othama, no. Shit. I wonder if Runa's worth a crud. We're going up to Decida, but Decida might be a really cruddy system in comparison to Runa. We don't know because we haven't looked at Runa. I'll tell you what's throwing me off there is that angle. They're still surveying. Yeah, well, we're going to skip on Runa for now. Let's move the constructor, the Yangtze, up to Decida. We're just going to move her there because currently she does not have the influence necessary to claim Decida. But you can see the clear path. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more systems to claim. The nice thing is because we got Zvox down here, there's nothing else I'm really chomping at the bit for. I do want Wexelia, and we'll probably grab that while we're racing for these 6 other systems. We'll grab that at some point when it seems appropriate. We'll move forward the India here to sit on Wexia. Hell, we might even move the fleet forward to sit on Wexia, making that our temporary end cap. We really don't know what the influence here at Klendath is going to be. Like, are these actual, alien civilization that's going to continue to grow? In which case, we would definitely want to claim Wexia. In fact, hell, let's just take the fleet. Oh, shit. I don't want to do that. Can we just take our fleet and send them there? Yes. We're just gonna camp our fleet on Wexia. I don't want anyone else to get it.
Survey complete.
Oh, all right. We got a couple things going on. So, who completed the system survey? Oh, right here. Faynov completed. I'm gonna zoom out, and you know what? Since we're starting to get cut off down here at the south, let's send the Gagarin all the way back around because we are kind of in a foot race on this side. So the Gagarin's going to jump over here and survey there. They got a ways to go. How long is that going to take? 587 days. A year and a half, folks. Year and a half journey to get back around. But I want 2 science ships on this northwestern passage. I'm going to not abandon the southern passage, but I'm going to leave it just to the Darwin to kind of skirt along and try and avoid these Xenos. But yeah, we got to claim Wexia. I want that out of the way. I want it bad. We'll go from there. Hell, I want Faynov as well. We'll see what happens. That being said, they're building. No, they're moving, which is fine, right? Yeah, they got one more thing to build there. Ship at the Demon's Maw. The Yangtze is completed. So let's move them up to Decida. I think that's a next likely place. They're en route right now. Right? Yes. Moving to Decida. And then did someone else complete a task? Who else are we looking at here? Ramston. No, they're just sitting there because we don't really have the influence to claim Ramston. So we're stuck. That's more or less all we can do for now. We'll advance the clock. And we're just at an hour, folks. That's probably a reasonable place to stop the game. So a couple things have come up today. We have met our first alien, and we've at least gotten eyes on quite a few additional worlds. Why did one of the planets went away? What the hell? Huh? What? Oh, that's odd. I could have sworn there were 2 worlds here. Oh. Whoa. Oh my. Wenkwart Artem is a Gaia world. Holy crap. Habitability breakdown. Modifiers from Gaia worlds. Class resources from jobs plus 10%. That's all jobs. Workers, specialists, rulers, right? All jobs. Happiness plus 10%. Automatic resettlement destination chance plus 50%. Wow. Okay. I don't know what happened to the other world, but oh, that's just so fascinating. Wentworth. Oh, that's another world. Oh my god, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wow. Okay. We got to get to Wentworth, folks. We got to lock that in. I want that planet. That's it. I think that's it for now, though. If you stuck with me and you managed to listen to me drone on about all that shit, I appreciate you spending time with me. We'll come back next week for part, I don't know, 8, whatever. We'll get through it. We'll be at this for a long time. Many months. Take care.